I have the trains for the clock in front of me. I've taken the pendulum rod out and the mechanism there that goes with it. I have let the springs down and I put the retainer clasps on the springs. There's no make on this. I don't know what it is. It's just simply the only mark it's got is the number 5, which is there. Of course, the setup is totally different to the French and the English clocks, but I'll get into that as I progress. So I'm going to take the plates off now, clean it up, and then we'll see how it all goes, and I'll come back to you in due course when it's all sorted out. Well, I've reached the next stage now. I've dismantled the movements. They were very, very greasy. It's very, very heavy grease. There's no apparent oil there at all. It's just grease, and it was probably quite thin when you went in first, but now it's appalling. Some of the wheels just simply wouldn't turn properly because the grease was so heavy. And if you can see that, it really is. Let's just get that on it. This light here. Well, you can see, I think, it's pretty grubby, pretty gunky is the trouble. It was all very gunky. The springs are gunky. I couldn't believe actually how difficult it was to actually get the wheels to move when the springs had been unwound. So the next thing I will do is to clean all these up. And this is a perfect example of the grease that's there. See, it's solidified, look. It's terrible. It all sort of goos up. I'm not going to put it in the ultrasound. I'll just scrub it all down with wire wool and very liquid. That'll get it all nice and clean and shiny. And then I can inspect all the pivots. They're all pretty solid by first appearance, first glance. Don't think there's any. They may be a bit gnarled. But you see, it is. We'll see how it goes. Okay. Be in touch later. So I've progressed. I've taken the springs out. So that's the strike spring. They look pretty fair. And that's the time spring. Now I'll clean those. I think they're not too tired. I think that they'll probably be okay to put back in again without any problem. Well, there might be a problem putting them back in again, but I don't think it's going to create a problem thereafter. I'll inspect them and see how they go. And I've got to clean up the parts, and that's my next job. So I'll keep you posted as we go towards the finish of this clock. So the next stage is to clean the wheels. This is the great wheel. As I said before, the sonic cleaner is all very well, but quite frankly, when you've got a small lot to do, and it's not too, I mean, this is pretty awful actually, but there's not a great deal to do, and you can inspect it as you're doing it, and you've got to clean off the rust, and there is a certain amount of rust on this which needs to be sorted out. There. Greasing that so thick it's not coming apart at all easily. It's sticky, literally sticky. That should spin. I didn't even know it came apart. It's the first one of these Ansonia Style American clocks that I've done for 3 years. Well, I've forgotten how it all goes together. That's a bit of a nightmare. It's a bit like glue, this stuff. I couldn't have believed it. No wonder it couldn't work. That's better, but it's not good enough. We'll get there. Now, distilled water. Right, time for cleaning the springs. Tip from Abe of Time for Clocks. He suggested that you use a scouring pad to clean the clocks with. So that's what I'm using this time. Clean off the old grease. Well, there we are. I've got that back into the coil, the spring, with the tail on, and that one is okay. And I've got one more to do. That was the time spring, and now I've got to do the strike spring. Now here's the strike spring in the wheel. I'll put that in there. Just got to make sure that when we turn it, it's going to go the right way. So the hook on the arbor has to obviously engage into the eye in the center of the spring, and once that's done, you then put it into here and wind away again as previously. I'll get that set up and then I'll link it up in a minute. Right, now I've sorted that out, and hope it's catching on the arbor. Not really at the moment. It's caught, I think. Good. It's very confusing because these springs wind on different hands. This one's winding up clockwise and the other one winds up anti-clockwise. The hook. I've lubricated it. I've got the catch there. It's not very clean at that end. Let's see. That'll get over now. etc. There we are, that's done. That's that one. It's fallen off as well, but with that. So we've got two springs all sorted, cleaned and ready to go back into the clock when I've assembled it. I mentioned before that the mainspring winder that I had was available from Northside Clocks. Well, they apparently seem to have gone, are no longer existent, and I think you can get an Ollie Baker style mainspring winder from merits.com. They're Ollie Baker, they're I think $245, very expensive, and you pay on top of that to ship them back to the UK. You'll have to pay duty, so it's a serious thought.